So I keep on walking, yeah. As I keep on walking, my enemies keep starting.
Talk of unemployment has dominated the headlines globally and locally. But rarely do you hear the stories of the persons most impacted by the plight, the unemployed. In today's episode of Off Limits, we feature young people impacted by joblessness. Hear their stories of hurt, frustration, and yet their will to never give up.
You go there, you go out there, you go to the interviews, you do all this and that, and at the end of the day, all what you get is, okay, Mr. X, I'll call you. You spend 6 months again out of work, nobody hasn't called, and you have to go back to that process again. I mean, it's tiring.
Knowing in the morning, when you get up and you're not used to the meal you normally having, well, it's a little hard on us.
Well, it's been very frustrating. First of all, you go through the struggle of typing and printing your resumes, you send them out, you wait, you call, everyone keeps saying no vacancies, no vacancies, no vacancies.
Frustration fails to adequately describe what unemployed young people go through. The sadness which burdens a single mother, the depression a young man may face while trying to support his family, or the disappointment a university graduate may encounter when returning home to the mantra of no vacancies in spite of a major student loan.
Individuals who invested in their education at the higher end, university graduates, after obtaining their first degree, the masters, these individuals will feel the pinch even more than maybe a secondary school graduate, because they have taken out student loans, they have huge amounts of money to pay back, and they are unemployed. They cannot meet that basic need of paying back their loan, and on a day-in, day-out basis, they will go into a state of depression.
Gervais says thoughts of suicide among unemployed youth is very much a reality.
Days pass, weeks pass, months pass, and individuals are not getting nothing. So day in, day out, they go into a state of depression. And sometimes if they are not mentally strong, they say, okay, what's the use? So they start thinking, oh, maybe I should just end my life. And suicide is a factor that a lot of young persons resort to.
Thousands of young people are unemployed in St. Lucia. The situation is expected to get worse, with hundreds of students expected to leave the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College and secondary schools around the island annually. According to the International Labour Organization's Global Employment Trends for Youth 2013 report, an estimated 73.4 million young people are expected to be out of work this year. The local unemployment figures provide a grimmer reality.
Roughly around 19,200 persons that are unemployed in St. Lucia currently, yeah. And that has been, these figures have held steady, fairly steady for the past couple of years.
What is often buried in the unemployment numbers is a deep understanding of the distressing experience of involuntary job loss and ongoing unemployment. Persons feel disheartened, discouraged, and hopeless. Many young men in disadvantaged communities express sadness over their inability to find jobs. Jason Henry, who is a graduate of the St. Mary's College, has been out of a full-time job for over a decade. He struggles to meet basic needs many people take for granted.
You have 14 years from the time I left St. Mary's College. It was from one part-time job to the next, one part-time job to the next. Frustrating in the sense that sometimes maybe you have one pair of shoes, your shoes finishing, and you're saying, boy, wow, I'll get a job to buy the next pair of shoes. Or maybe, well, in my case, I don't have children, but you have a girlfriend. Sometimes you have a girlfriend and your girlfriend asks you for something and you'll have to be like, I have no money yet.
Tomorrow comes and you cannot have a proper meal. It's still, like they say, like Ambi said, ramen. And we have enough of that already, so.
Many single mothers are all too familiar with the struggles of being out of a job while having to raise their children. Temdi George, a single mother of an 8-year-old girl, says it was a daunting task to send her daughter to school while being unemployed.
Education is very demanding in St. Lucia. You have the books to get, you have transportation to pay, and all of that. Government don't really assist when it comes to those things, and that can be really frustrating when you don't have a second income coming in This doesn't help at all, at all, at all, at all. Most times I cry behind closed doors. My child don't have to see that.
George, who is 27, says what made his circumstances even more discouraging is being out of a job for several years.
It's been about 4 to 5 years since I've been searching for a job, and it has never been successful. Back and forth all the time. When you leave your home, you go to the post office, you do whatever it is you have to do, and you expect that call which never comes. The most, well, I would say embarrassing is when you call and they don't have vacancies available. Most times it's not always pleasant. You call the employers, most times they're in meetings. Most times they say coming or call back, and you keep calling, and it costs to call. It costs to call, it costs to get to the workplaces. It costs really, 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 really a struggle.
Substance abuse, deviant behavior, and even crime among the youth may be some of the outcomes of unemployment, a reality acknowledged by Minister of National Security, Philip Lacorbiniere.
Clearly, the more unemployed persons that you have and the more unemployed young persons you have, there's a potential for these persons to be idle and to get into criminal activity and also to seek the criminal means of satisfying their economic needs.
His statement is supported by criminologist and sociologist Dr. Juliet Raymond.
When you look at the males, for instance, what we are finding is that our young males tend to gravitate towards more violent types of tendencies, towards, again, when faced with unemployment issues. Again, the data reveals it that there are young ladies who have the CXCs, and A-levels, and they still cannot find jobs. What does that say? I mean, in terms of implications that have serious implications for those young girls now who now need to survive.
Unemployment has been exacerbated by the economic recession, and everyone is feeling the pinch. Employers are no exception.
Employers have, as I've said, done their best. I mean, you could only employ so many. You can't employ more than that. And since the economic recession from 2008, employers have tried hard not to lay off people.
There have been calls to provide an alternative.
So I think what a government has to do is change the thinking. Let us go seriously into agriculture. We are strong in agriculture. We've always been strong in agriculture.
I think that governments need to be a bit more creative in developing programs, formulating programs that would help benefit individuals, that would help make them a little bit more self-reliant, to incorporate certain components within those initiatives that would allow individuals to becoming a little bit more self-reliant and not government dependent. So because we see a lot of dependencies on the government, and that we could hopefully see a dent in criminal behavior if we can address, again, more effectively how we carve out policies and programming to assisting our young people.
But despite the persistent unemployment young people face and the sadness and frustration that come with it, many refuse to let their circumstances determine their fate. Recent graduate of the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College, Karim Stanley, says after not being able to find a job upon graduation, he decided to create his own employment. The young entrepreneur owns his own photography company, Miraculous Entertainment. He is also the PRO of an online youth magazine, That's What's Up, an initiative of 7 recent graduates of the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College.
St. Lucia has a lot of talent. It's not a mystery, because one of our greatest resources here in St. Lucia is the human resource, right? So I think that it is very imperative, important, and all other words I could use to describe the importance of it, that young people should make something of themselves and make employment. If you cannot do it on your own, find someone who is in the same field as you and work together.
Many single mothers refuse to remain in the unemployment pool and are finding hope in the National Skills and Development Center, NSDC.
The National Skills Development Center is a non-profit or quasi-governmental non-profit agency who really is invested in the future of our country, the youth. securing them with skilled training.
The NSDC also offers programs to train youth at risk and help them attain internship opportunities in order to gain full-time employment. John Victorin of the Caribbean Youth Empowerment Program, an initiative funded by USAID, focuses on reducing recidivism and helps train juveniles to find employment opportunities. The 2012 initiative helped 13 former inmates find jobs.
For the first time in the history of the facility, the recidivism rate actually went down instead of increasing, actually decreased instead of increasing. So I think that there's some success being achieved on that front, but we still have a lot of work to do, especially in getting employers to embrace the idea that, look here, we need to give these young persons a second chance.
Libert Okilia says he has benefited significantly from the initiative and is optimistic about finding employment despite the several challenges he has faced.
Well, I learned how to cope with people. I did the ADP program, how to handle and manage my emotions, you know.
Many young people are also turning to the St. Lucia Youth Business Trust in order to turn their business ideas into reality. The program serves young people from 18 to 45 who have a sound business plan. Youngsters who take part in the program are provided with experienced business mentors who give sound business advice, encouragement, and guidance.
Once you have a viable idea, I think that you should pursue it and not give up. I've had an individual who used his last $5 to get his forms registered, where he had an events management business, and his artist was still able to be successful. You have an idea, you have a business concept, you work on it, you push, you continue to pursue your dream. I mean, you would always get obstacles as expected with anything that you do in life, but it's just a matter of understanding that you want something and then you're going to work towards it. As obstacles come, you just become strong, and then obstacles are there to strengthen you when you really look at life in general.
If you're passionate about something, you have to understand there will be challenges, but that's not at the point where you give up on yourself or the people around you trying to make it better. Failure isn't quitting something. Failure is basically practicing getting it right.
Prime Minister Dr. Kenny Anthony has urged university graduates to not restrict their prospects to St. Lucia, but explore the wider world.
They go to university and they have completed their studies. They should not pin their hopes solely on their country, pin their hopes solely on St. Lucia. They have to train now for the wider world, whether it is CARICOM or whether it is the United States, if they can get the opportunity to go there. No longer must we train with the expectation that employment will always be provided at home. It's vital that we search for self-employment opportunities. The notion that a government can provide all the jobs, that's not viable. It's impossible. No government can employ an entire population. Thirdly, prepare yourselves emotionally. Never, ever give up on life or give up on opportunities.
Temsy George is living proof of that. She is now enrolled as a student at the National Skills Development Center after years of being unemployed. She is one of the many exemplary students in her beauty therapy course. The ambitious 27-year-old is hoping to one day own her own business, creating employment opportunities for herself and other young people.
I'm a very determined person, first of all, and I have my goals for the next 5 years, and I am very confident that I'm going to own my own business.
George had some words of advice for single mothers who may be going through what she experienced.
I would tell them, first of all, get rid of all negativity. It all starts with you.
Natasha Augustine, who was faced with challenging circumstances in finding employment while struggling to raise her children, says persistence pays off. Like Temsy George, after years of not finding employment, she decided to turn to NSDC for help.
I'd like to encourage the young people, especially the single mothers, that there is still hope and there is a chance so that you could explore your potential.
Augustine is now employed part-time and attends culinary arts classes. She hopes one day to become a top chef in St. Lucia. Jason Henry, who we met earlier on in the program, was unemployed when we first conducted the interview in April. However, he's now employed part-time with a well-established company. He is confident his situation will soon turn around. His friend Jonathan and Catherine shares the same optimism. He is hopeful his job prospects will soon change.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
In today's Youth Talk, we feature a young man from the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College who has a successful online business company called Quantum Solutions. The organization has done a number of marketing ventures and video productions for several companies around the island. At the tender age of 18, Coyote James, a first-year student of the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College, is the CEO of his own online marketing company. The initiative stems from a passion for marketing and business. James believes it is important for young people to turn their business ideas into reality and, most importantly, viable business opportunities.
The way the island is, the economy is right now, is very hard, and like things are not the way it used to be. People crying every day, jobs getting harder, so like opportunity doesn't come to people as it used to be, as before. So like I just got up one day and just decided like, let me venture out for opportunity. Let me, do something that's interesting to me and that would not just benefit me, but also have a positive externality on the public.
He admits there have been challenging times with his business. James says when he first started out the initiative, there were several obstacles that he needed to overcome. But things are better now, and while he is currently not where he wants to be, he is certainly not giving up. Quantum Solutions occasionally partners with a number of other companies, including Lucian Catalog, Troublesome Designs, and Evolution Film, to provide services, including photography, video productions, and marketing. His organization has provided services for some of the most well-known companies on the island. He encouraged young persons who may encounter difficulties finding employment to look for alternatives, create their own job opportunities, and find unconventional viable measures for jobs. He cited new media as a possible option.
If you're that kind of person that go-getter, you will have that ambition to do something extra, to not just settle for what society is presenting you every day. You would create that avenue that will actually help you in your future and boost your mentality, your social skills, develop all aspects of you as a person, as opposed to just waking up every day and sitting on the block and just not doing anything and wasting your time. Not only your time, but your parents' money, their efforts, and what they went through to have you here today.
So what makes a young entrepreneur as a business stand out from the rest?
Well, compared to other marketing establishments out there, you won't get so many different aspects as to what we provide or offer to the public. For example, as a sole marketing company, they could only just keep like your awareness, the company's awareness, like what we do, the market consultancy, market research, and etc. But they'll still have to venture out to other avenues to get what they need done.
James says he is hoping that one day Quantum Solutions can make strides in the regional and international market.
Long term, I plan to have it established as a full-grown company, whereas it's not only operating, we work for major clients in St. Lucia, but also we're taking it abroad as to Caribbean countries and probably even the United States of America.
Coyote had these words of advice to young persons wanting to one day have a business of their own.
Don't give up. That's the best thing I could say to tell them. Like, yeah, it's hard and everything. Not everything you see today, it wasn't just done overnight or people with luck it just happened to come there. It took work and effort and a lot of tears and sweat. So don't just believe that because you didn't get that particular job you wanted or the position you wanted, everything's over. You understand? Everything takes time and you just work for what you want.
Coyote James emphasized there is a need for young people to find alternative forms of employment. Thank you for joining us for an unprecedented look at important social issues. I'm Sarah Peter. Join me next time so we can go off limits.
So I keep on walking, yeah. As I keep on walking, my enemies keep stalking. Don't wanna see me reach back home, yeah. As I keep on walking.